This is Analog Spectrum. What a dumpster fire sounds like.
On, baby.
All right. Hello, everyone. This is Tony, and I'm with Doug, and this is Analog Spectrum, and we have nothing planned for this podcast.
This one we're calling Hodgepodge.
We're calling it Hodgepodge, and let's go in right now. Let's talk about, for the next 15 minutes, how Hodgepodge is one of my favorite words.
Okay.
Now,
can you spell it?
H-Hodge. So, no, we did think it would be interesting to talk about what we have going on in our life right now. I have a couple ideas and things I'd like to talk about, and Doug has a couple ideas.
Yeah, and my ideas first, I want to talk about the police.
The police. God, okay, fucking they're great, all right?
Yay!
I reference every police and how the Beatles aren't great.
Yeah.
Rush is awesome. And Neil Young can go piss up a rope.
Yeah.
We're going to be very controversial.
I'm sure.
A lot of bad language right out of the gate today. Now, and I think about like what's going on in my life, what I'm willing to talk about, and what I mean by that is, I work, I have a job. It's not that exciting. But I have had some interesting things happen recently in my life. And so would you like me to start, or do you have anything you want to discuss initially, or what are your thoughts?
No, I got whatever. Yeah, go.
Okay, so
I'll chime in. Yeah. I'll just interrupt you frequently and make comments and ask questions.
I'd like that. I like that a lot.
Okay, shut up.
Well, recently I got back from Utah. Me and some friends went to Utah. Oh, I recently got COVID.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
We had to delay our recording of this podcast
because I had COVID. Yeah. And
I don't want your junk.
I'm worried about that.
Why?
Well, I don't know. I don't want to give you COVID. I feel guilty about it.
I've had it a couple times. I don't care.
I'm kind of cutting to the chase here. I got back from Utah and came back with one of the individuals, and they may be listening. She ended up getting it while we were there. I will tell you, when we were in Utah, let's go right back to the.
Oh my God!
Let's do this.
You're a really shitty storyteller right now.
I am. I'm usually not though. Usually I'm pretty good at this. Okay, so as everyone knows, I ride bikes. I ride bicycles, and
Tony cruises his 10-speed.
I do, just like breaking away, and.
Yes.
Going back maybe like 8-10 months, a year ago, I committed to 2 events this summer, one of them being the ride in Wichita Falls, the 100-mile bike ride. And the second one was to go with some friends and do a ride in Utah, Moab. Mm-hmm. And I... probably about 3 weeks ago, went to Utah. My wife was unable to. She had planned to go with me, but she wasn't able to go with me for work-related reasons. So I went by myself, drove up there, got my truck, went up there, and it was just like 5 or 6 days of insane it was kind of craziness. And the reason it was crazy was it was just go, just nonstop.
Okay.
But
so not really a vacation.
Well, we did. And I know the people that I was with may listen to this, but man, they were really going. Like they were really going. They they wanted the days we weren't riding bikes. We were at national parks, which there's plenty of national parks up there. By the way, Moab, beautiful
bucket list.
Yeah, have you been?
Mm-mm.
No, it's beautiful. I mean, there's Arches, the national park there, and Canyonlands, and a bunch of state parks there. I think Dead Horse State Park, and Canyonlands, I wasn't expecting much, but it is comparable. Not across the board, but comparable like the Grand Canyon. It's got that kind of beauty. But so the 2 bike rides, we were going to do 2 bike rides, and if you're listening, guys, I'm
stop making excuses. Just spit it out.
Tell it like it is. Okay, so the first, so we got there. We had our first day. We didn't do a whole lot the first day, but we got there, I got there like at 4 p.m.
Mm.
Next morning, I want to say like the next morning we got up, got our packets, just kind of hung around in Moab.
Oh, was this an organized ride? It wasn't.
Yes, it
just
was.
You guys?
It was
okay, I thought it was you guys just going.
It was called the Moab. It was the name of the organization, Skinny Tires.
Okay.
You can Google it. They do all kinds of rides up there, but you could sign up for different stuff. But
okay.
One of the things you could sign up for was like a 100-mile bike ride the first day, 60 miles the second day,
okay.
And there was significant elevation change on each ride, right?
Okay.
And so back when you signed up for it, like for 12 months ago, I'm thinking,
I'll train.
Oh, sure, everything will be great. I know exactly what I'm doing. So I signed up for the Century for the first day. Second day after sign up, you had no choice. You had to do a 65-mile ride the second day, and I was so I was like, when I got there, I didn't feel really trained up to do 100. So I said, I'll just do 60. And the 60-mile ride was a climb, 18-mile uphill climb to Dead Horse State Park, and the ride itself, like, it's almost like, you live in Texas and there's a hill in your backyard and you climb up that hill every day thinking, no, I'm pretty sure I can get ready for Everest, even though I've never seen a picture of Everest. And then you show up at Everest and you're like, wow,
bigger than I thought.
I have climbed a hill every day, so I should be okay. And you're woefully unprepared, right? But because I had trained, that first day, 18 miles climbing, beautiful, but it's almost like if you go to the gym, you get the quad extension machine, and you just put that kind of on a mildly, just a little bit of resistance, and you just do extensions, about maybe like 70 a minute for like 3 or 4 hours. You know what I mean? It's gonna wear you out. You know what I mean? So we did the climb. It was like 3,500 feet, all climb, and then we rode back down. And I remember like getting back to, because they had like a little meal for us to eat at the bottom, and everybody was like, "God, Tony, you're really, really quiet." And I just didn't know how to say, like, "Yeah, I'm not doing the ride tomorrow. I'm just not." I'm just not. I mean, I'm not doing it. And there are definitely individuals that were with me that probably could have done the ride, but they're kind of, they were fine, they weren't mean or anything like that though. But I think they may have been a little disappointed. But I was like, look, man, I hate to be that guy, but I'm not freaking. I'm not doing it. Only because the ride on the second day was about, I think it was about the same length of time, like 18 miles, distance like 18 miles, but it was like twice the climb. So rather than being like 3,500 feet, it was like brutal. It was like 6,000 feet. Yeah, and that's a lot, right? And but it seemed like as everything kind of settled in, everybody was on the same page. Like everybody was like, "No, you're right." And so
we'll just use you as an excuse, Tony. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, and it's funny because usually they would. Usually, and these are not, and just like you and me, if they wanted, they would beat me up if they were like, they would make fun of me. It'd be all in good fun, right? But there wasn't anything. I think we were all but the next day we're kind of like, all right, this is probably the right decision. But we went and drove the route. Like the next day we got up and we
did you get tired driving?
No, but it was like when we were driving it clearly was the right decision.
Okay.
Like it was clearly like there was like you would climb up a top of a hill and you're like, oh my gosh, I need carabiners and rope, and and an ice axe. I mean, some of the climbs were, I can't even do them justice. They were insane. They were like insane. And even though when we started the drive, we were all, oh, it's probably the right decision. By the end, like me and especially my good friend who I've ridden with, both of us were like I'm not too sure if this is something I'm never going to do, or if this is like a white whale thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and if there's a white whale, it's a pretty chintzy white whale, because like a white whale would be like a ride in France, like, Alpe d'Huez or something like that they ride on the Tour de France. This is just some, random climb in Utah.
Right.
But it was just shocking. But anyway, the whole experience itself, we did do another bike ride there, but it was flat and it was a lot of fun. And we did a lot of hiking and canyonlands. Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Yeah. And
I want to go there for photography. I'm just always worried about the flash flood stuff, though. Because you never know it's coming.
They do talk about that.
Yeah,
like everywhere you go,
it can rain 150 miles away, and you never know that flood's coming. And
well, it depends on where you are. I know, like Canyonlands isn't an issue because you're always up on the rim. You can go down into the canyon,
right?
The canyons, but if you're just driving like your regular,
right.
You're up high. Arches, that they say, but for the most part, they don't ever say like you don't know it's coming, but they kind of present it in a way like you can get the hell out if you need to.
Okay.
Just do, but I'm sure there's all kinds of areas where you could go, and you would be you would be screwed.
Yeah.
But yeah, beautiful. Lots of cool hikes. But then when we were there, like the last day, in Moab itself, the town itself, very touristy but very nice. It's probably like a place like Taos.
Yeah.
What is that? Aspen.
Telluride.
Yeah,
whatever.
like that. Yeah, and but when we were there, it was very like we had to go to the grocery store a couple times. We didn't buy a whole lot of groceries, just go every couple of days. And I know damn good and well, more than likely, I probably caught it at the grocery store too, because it was just a zoo. It was like post-apocalyptic or the apocalypse is coming type thing.
Right.
It was totally. And yeah, and you and I have done lots of long drives. It was kind of a cool long drive. Yeah, cool. I got up. I think, what did I do? It was kind of funny. I won't. I don't know who's listening to this, but I decided to do the drive like in 2 days. And so up there going 2 days, I went to like Albuquerque, and I stayed overnight in Albuquerque. Surprisingly nice. I mean, like the place I stayed.
I've been there.
Yeah. I stayed kind of in east of little town east of Albuquerque, not that far outside of Albuquerque. Grabbed a pizza at the Pizza Barn. Props to the Pizza Barn. Damn good pizza.
Nice.
Best damn pizza I've ever had in Albuquerque. It was actually really good.
Cool.
And got a little personal pan action, and then but on the way back, I was like, well, I need a comparable place to stop on the way back, and I said, well, the only place I got is like Lubbock, Texas. And so
shit in Lubbock, man.
Dude. And so one of my friends that I work with, he spent a lot of time in Lubbock, and so I shot him a text, hey, I'm going to be in Lubbock. I'm going to spend the night in Lubbock. I got a hotel, hotels.com. My whole plan was like to roll in there, park the car, not even take anything out, walk to the room, sleep for 8 hours, get up, haul ass, right? And I was even planning on leaving like at midnight, and I text him and I'm like, hey, I'm going to be in Lubbock. And he like sends me like, well, make sure while you're there, you go to the zoo, and I think you can catch a symphony. I'm just thinking, I'm not doing any, not doing, I'm not texting him back. I'm not doing any of that shit. I just want to let you know that I was going to be in Lubbock. Right. I'm not going to go I'm not going to catch a ball game.
Right.
But yeah, Lubbock was a treat. And I did get up I did like that whole getting up at like midnight and driving from midnight to like 7 in the morning just to get home.
Yeah, that's tough because you're going through it's all rural.
It was rough. Yeah. You should see the front of my truck right now. It looks like it looks like there's nothing but bugs. Yeah. Okay, phenomenon for you. I want to see if you've ever had this happen to you.
Oh.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. You're out in the middle of like nowhere. You're driving down some country ass road in the middle of nowhere. Okay, and you come across and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And you come across one of these like it's one lane for an extended period, and they put up one of these like stoplights,
traffic lights, yeah,
traffic light, and it's red, right? And you stop, and you're like, that son of a bitch stays red way too long. You're thinking it's broken.
Yeah.
That happened to me. You ever had that happen to you?
All the time.
I hate that.
It happens. They're doing a bridge on my way home.
Right.
And they have one of those up so they don't have to have a dude with a flag out there 24/7.
Right.
Yeah, it seems like
they didn't send your car.
The timing is off. Yeah.
I sat there and I may have only been like.
I'm sure it's scientific.
I'm sure there's technology.
I'm sure there's a guy that programs it to go like, okay.
Yeah, like how are we going to mess with these people? Yeah. But I wanted to get home, and
don't tell me you ran it.
No, I didn't, but I thought about it. The two things I did was I thought about running it, and I'm glad I didn't because a truck did come up the other way, like an 18-wheeler, and I also had my Garmin out, not my Garmin, but my Google Maps, and I was like, how can I
get around it?
How can I get around it? Yeah, but I just somebody pulled it behind me, a truck pulled it behind me, and I thought, well, if he's, whatever's going to happen, is going to happen.
We'll be dumb enough to wait together.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure the truck driver, he's a truck driver. I'll let him go first.
Yeah, exactly.
But
it's something interesting happened to me yesterday, which I don't know if you're going to find this interesting or not. But I just got cable.
Okay.
I moved into my new house, and so I was without any sort of internet connection or anything for almost a week, and I thought it was great. I actually enjoyed that.
You off the grid?
Off the grid, yeah. Nice. It was good. But
good for you.
The grid came back, and don't ask me why, but when I hooked my Roku and stuff back up, it remembered that I had watched part of Richard Pryor
Yeah.
In concert, Richard Pryor in concert, whatever. This 1978 or something.
Allow me to interject. I have a question.
Yeah.
So do you have cable or do you have internet or do you actually have a cable TV?
No, I have just the internet.
Okay,
I just use a Roku, yeah.
Yeah, when you mentioned cable, I was like...
Oh, sorry, that's legacy language that I'm hanging on to. I don't know why.
When I
get my dang modem dial up.
I'm going to get on that internet.
You even get on the webs. But anyway, yeah, so, I just flipped on the TV and whatever, and I hadn't watched it in weeks, really, between moving and stuff. But then I was like, oh, yeah, shit, I was watching. I only got like 10 minutes into it when I had watched it. And so I watched it. I watched Richard Pryor live in concert, and whatever that was, about 1978 or 79, something like that, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I laughed my ass off, man. It was funny as hell.
Right.
And then so the next night, I sit down, and it suggests that I watch Eddie Murphy Raw.
Wow.
And I remember going to the movies to watch Eddie Murphy Raw. I saw that on the big screen.
Right.
And I was in stitches laughing to it. I couldn't sit through it. It was terrible.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what I think it is I think that he even says in there he idolized Richard Pryor.
Right.
But I think the level of comedy is not even close. Like Richard Pryor was legitimately like, it's like Seinfeld, his observational comedy.
Sure.
Everybody can relate to it because it's just funny, But Eddie Murphy, like, writes jokes. Like, he sets up situations and writes jokes. And to me, that felt like super stale compared. And I was very shocked because I remember I have super fond memories of that film.
Right.
And so, yeah, there you go. I was very disappointed. Eddie Murphy, Raw.
The one thing I think I remember about Raw is where he was talking about how Bill Cosby was giving him a rash.
Oh, yeah.
And he said he called Richard Pryor about it. Richard Pryor told him, tell Bill Cosby to have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
And again, there were moments that were good, but I remember it way better than what it actually was in retrospect.
I got to tell you, I was talking to my brother a long time ago, and we were actually talking about, and my brother, he's probably a little bit more introspective and also kind of more analytical. And I don't know really it's so long ago. I don't know where this conversation came from, but I think, and I'm pretty sure it was my brother, but he was, somehow we got off on the topic about how comedy has changed. And there was a time when comedy was kind of story based. Mm-hmm. And now it really is just like one
joke after another.
Yeah.
Well, because it's harder, isn't it, to do the story stuff? I mean, it's you got to weave all that stuff together, and I think it's a lot more challenging.
Well, I think
I don't know. Do people have the patience to listen to that anymore? I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, just like I found when you watch older movies like Funny Games, it struck me when we had watched that together, or for our other podcast. The pacing of the film it's such that you can't
slow.
Yeah, it's slow. The development of the story and stuff is slow compared to nowadays. It's like boom, 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 boom. Mm-hmm. And it's I don't know. I mean, I find
we live in a TikTok world.
Yeah, and I find enjoyment in both. I really do. But if it's gonna be slow, it better frickin' be good. That's how I see it. But that's why I like a lot of old cowboy movies and stuff, because they did do that and they did it well. They developed the characters slowly, but they did do it really well.
I think if things happen, back on the comedy, I think if the comedy is good, then I can think about, there's a few recent, let's say recent 2000s, 2010, 2011, all that.
20 years old.
Yeah, 2010, 2000. I think I can look. Again, I'm totally unprepared. We're seated for pants. Well, there's one of my favorite comedians is Joe DeRosa right now, and probably people have never heard of him. But he tells stories, and he's got, I think he's got The Depression Auction was like his first album. He's got Son of the Depression Auction, who I don't know what it means. But the
guy's funny though.
What's that?
That guy's funny.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's funny. He said something once, and I thought, oh my God, that is so insightful. And he's talking about social media, and he's like, yeah, all of a sudden everybody's got a voice.
Yeah, I know.
Everybody doesn't need a voice.
This is like,
that's very true.
I love how he says he says, yeah, there was a time if you were upset at somebody, it like took work to like write a letter,
exactly.
and you could sit there and by the time you had to go buy a stamp, he goes, but you had to go buy some stationery. He goes, by the time you were like about ready to sit down and write, you're like, what am I even doing? I'm not even pissed anymore.
I'm over
it. Now like some guy is like at work, and the guy's like, all right, you need me to get there, be in that meeting, I'll be there for you, boss. Don't worry. What do Joe DeRosa, your comedy shit, you suck, send, you bet I'm in the meeting in a few minutes, it's like, it's clever as shit. And,
true.
But he tells stories that are, that like, a lot of times, like he tells us one where he goes to watch a movie, and there's two teenagers in there, and they're talking, and it's just annoying the hell out of them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a story, so it's very funny. Right. And I like some of the older Patton Oswalt. I think he kind of does the same thing. He tells stories.
I can't stand that guy, man.
Yeah, he's overly political right now, but some of his early stuff is very good.
I've never actually liked any of his stuff. Yeah, just me. But
he tells the story. One of my favorite things. He tells a story about how when he's in college, and he's talking to the professor about it's a Star Wars story, or Star Trek, and it's a long story. It's funny, but yeah, I think a lot of times people just tell. They're just telling one joke after another. I think being a stand-up comedian is hard.
Oh Jesus, yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny because it's one of the things in our political climate now that comedy's getting beat up on a lot. You know, because to really be funny, there has to be an element of truth in there.
Right.
That's what makes it funny. And if you listen to some of that Richard Pryor stuff, he was no holds barred, man. He made fun of everything and anything, and he's I'm not even going to get into it because I'll get myself in trouble. But
sure.
It's good. Well, so anyway, that whole experience surprised me because I was not expecting to not enjoy the Eddie Murphy thing, and I was like, wow, that's weird. Maybe just I'm an old fart now.
I got to go back and watch it, because I remember as a kid when I'd watch it, it felt like we were doing something wrong. It'd be like HBO. Would be I literally I went into the movies. My brother took me, and we went to see it in the movies, and I just thought, I just thought it was freaking awesome. But, and look at it now, like, it's weird. Eddie Murphy's a lot to unpack, man.
Yeah,
because he
made some great movies, though.
He did.
Yeah, he had some great movies.
But I wonder how well. I haven't watched Beverly Hills Cop in forever. How well is that aged?
I don't know.
And I remember 48 Hours. I loved 48 Hours.
48 Hours are great.
Yeah. And then, but as far as current comedians, I'm right there with like Bill Burr. I love him.
Bill Burr is he's my hero, dude. He is so damn funny.
It's funny, but just the way he says stuff is, it's funny already, and then with that Boston.
Yeah, I know.
That staccato Boston, like a
cranky old white guy thing.
Oh, there's one routine he does where he talks about it's never okay to hit a woman.
Oh, that is.
It's
top of the charts.
It's so. But again, it's it's obviously not a funny topic, but But
he makes it funny.
Yeah, but even the things he kind of is observational humor is funny, but then it goes like to the next level, like where he you just. But I'm laughing just thinking about it right now.
Yeah, he attacks social norms and all that stuff. And that's good.
Yeah, and also I know Joe Rogan is super popular, but I've heard some of his comedy and it was pretty funny.
Yeah, I haven't listened to him anything, not podcast, not comedy, not nothing. I don't know, dude. Something happened to me.
What do you mean?
No, I get. It's ever since we've known each other, I've been relatively anti-popularism.
Sure.
Okay. And I think that stems from my belief that most people are sheep when you get them in large groups.
Right.
I say this about England all the time, and this is the vein that I'm talking about, is I liked every individual that I met when I lived in England, but I hated the English. And it's funny because it's like when you get them in groups, they're even more sheepish than we are.
Sure.
That's how I felt anyway. But then when you sit down and have a cup of coffee with somebody, they're nice people. I enjoyed every one of them individually that I met for the most part,
Right.
But, boy, and you get them in throngs of people on the underground or whatever. Ugh, man, it was terrible. I hated it. But so anyway. So yeah, go.
I was going to say to unpack what you're saying about like not liking popularism, and you think that's transition? Do you think you're still that way?
I think I'm worse.
Really?
Yeah.
The way I kind of and I've never thought about it, but so this is kind of saying it as it's kind of coming to me. There are things that are popular, and I understand why they're popular. You know, well, we're talking about Bill Burr, for example. I mean, he's popular, and I get it. You know, And there's other things that are, and this is going to sound so contrived now that's coming out of my mouth. There's things that are popular, and I don't freaking get it, man. I mean, like the Kardashians. What in the hell? I mean,
I don't understand the draw.
I do not get it, or any of these Real Housewives or whatever. I mean, I guess people like to bathe in the cringe, but I can't watch it. You know?
I don't think it's that though. I think
what is it?
I think it's escapism, kind of. Don't you think? Like
I guess
they're leaving their own miserable lives for a short period of time and.
Yeah, but these people. But all you're seeing is that maybe that's it. Maybe they can actually see people.
Do you think it started maybe with like Robin Leach and the rich
lifestyle
famous
cribs and all that kind of stuff? I think people like to. I think people like to see how the rich. Well, it's always been that way with Hollywood. You know, like people like will buy magazines with talking about how Cary Grant. You know, whatever. Yeah, and then I think people have always kind of wondered about that, and we're able to get very close to them, but I guess what bothers me about more than and you know they have their own problems even though they're bullshit but money can't buy happiness, whatever,
right?
But I think what bothers me about it, like you look like the Kardashians as an example, I have nothing against them personally, but they make nothing. You know what I mean?
They produce zero.
They produce zero. You know, and to me, you know, it's to me that's very. I mean, I believe that people should get ahead on their own merits. You know, if they produce something or they're capable, if you're a great actor, like truthfully, like even like, you know, pop music, which I don't like. Hey, if you're making a product and people are willing to buy it, and you make
well, that's essentially what the Kardashians are doing, right?
I guess
they're not in it alone for sure, but but that's
Kim made a porn. I mean, lots of women, you know, make porn. What you know, what made her so special? You know, I mean,
I don't even know that is.
Who Kim Kardashian?
Oh, okay. I didn't know she made porn.
Well, no, she made one. I guess she made a sex tape. And again, this is. This is a hodgepodge.
This is a hodgepodge. Well,
and that's what I said. Oh my God!
Yeah. So this is where I was going with this discussion. Is that like I've gotten to the point where I've gone beyond like, oh, it's popular and all of that, and like you say, as soon as I absorb some of it and go, oh, I don't get it. I used to go like, okay, I don't get it. But I'll let it be. And now it actually repulses me now. Now I'm like, I refuse to spend any time, money, or energy absorbing any of the content that they create or, I don't know. It's like, for example, oh my gosh. The dog is back.
I picked up the dog.
The dog is back. What was that popular HBO series about the medieval times?
Oh, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Never watched a single episode, never cared, whatever, right? And it was all the rage, right? And then, so for this podcast, you gave me your HBO login stuff, and we watched, that Barry thing. Or whatever it was. I started to watch it, all right?
Watch like one episode.
I watched 3. Well, I couldn't get through the third one without
I can't believe you don't like that. I don't get why you don't like that. It's so
I'll
good.
I'll explain it to you.
I don't want you to explain it to me until you're so full of shit. Oh, that's right. I forgot that the music of the police in there. It is a great show, Doug.
It's a terrible show.
You don't freaking know what you're talking about.
So contrived.
It's not contrived.
Oh,
it's
my
so
God,
unique and original. You have not given it a chance. I would not lie to you.
I predicted almost every single move that was happening in that
bullshit.
first 2. Ask my wife. I swear to God, she was sitting next to me. And I said, okay, watch. This is what's going to happen.
He's going to walk in the room because he was standing outside the room, Doug. It's not that hard.
You're such an idiot. I predicted every plot twist in that stupid thing.
No, shut up. You did not. That's
I did. Ask my wife.
I'm going to
ask her.
I'm going to ask your wife.
Get her on the phone right now.
I'm not doing it. That is actually a great. And again, I get. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute.
Oh shit!
For one. Fuck you.
Okay, discussion over.
No. If you would give it a chance,
how much of a chance do I got to give it?
I don't
I'm on
know.
my third episode, and it's like I find the characters awful.
Why?
Just
I'm not gonna say they're likable.
Plastic, total
plastic.
He's
so he's the main character is very he's a sociopath, but he's like an unhappy sociopath. You never see unhappy sociopaths. There you go, unique.
Okay, great.
But
I don't give a shit about the character. I think he's a. I don't think the acting is good. The only thing that I actually like about it is the camera work. That was it.
All right.
That's the only thing I liked about it.
I think if you ever gave it a chance. I mean, I don't know. I do appreciate like when a show is like again. I think there's movies out there that are not great movies, not great, but I still like them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think there's stuff out there that's good, like really good. And I think that especially when like that show is like and man, we are really going off the rails here.
No,
it's not like season 3 or season 4 or something like that. It gets good. I mean, it gets
well. So people said that very same thing about. What's the one? Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And I think it got worse as it went along. It got worse and worse. The first season I thought was pretty good, and it got worse after that. I didn't even finish it. I got so disinterested.
Oh, man, it's too bad.
After the point where he flings the pizza on the roof or something, whatever, that's kind of the last memory I have of that. Everything else is like, got awful, man. So.
I think, to me, Breaking Bad kind of lost some focus for a bit, but I do think it's got probably one of the best finales I've ever seen.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, so
I'll miss it. Well, yeah, whatever. It doesn't bother me.
You're so cynical.
Yeah, it's just that.
And on the Game of Thrones thing, that's kind of what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Is in that there's things out there that because I did watch Game of Thrones, and
so here's one difference I'm going to point out between you and I. Even if it sucks, you'll still watch it. I won't. I'm like, screw that. I'm not going to spend my time. I got other shit I'd rather do.
I don't know. Okay, and I'm going to disagree. In that, if it sucks, I won't watch it. Okay. But I will watch it even if it's popular. Okay, you know. Like, and as far as things sucking goes, okay. I'll now because you mentioned that. Now I'm thinking through some shit I've watched in my head. I'm thinking, oh yeah, that's garbage, and I watched it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say like Game of Thrones sucked. I mean,
well, no, I wouldn't say that it sucked either. Because I mean, I know the production value was real good on that, and
yeah, it was well. Some of it was well. That show, it's such a hard one. I mean, that's because the last season. Well. We're not gonna have a Game of Thrones episode here, but
we won't because I won't participate.
Yeah. Doug is walking out of the room.
See you later.
The first few seasons of Game of Thrones was a very slowly developing kind of a lot of plot, a lot of character development, and then they were like, okay, we're like I forget what season 7, season 8, whatever, and they're like, okay, we got to.
Did that many?
Yeah, and they got like we got to close the book on this, and so they did all this kind of slow, very. Detailed, very interesting, very multi-layered characters. A lot of people would get close to certain things and they would kill off characters and so forth. And you're kind of like, wow, what's going to happen? And then like the last season, not only was it very badly written, it just was like they had like 8 episodes and all that work to build what they had built, and they just kind of
pissed all over it.
Yeah, pissed all over it.
Yeah, I hate that. I don't know, whatever, and that's why. Whatever. I don't know. This all started off, we were talking about popularism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I've just learned over the course of time, if something gets super popular, super fast, I'm probably not going to like it. And the reason I think that is that I value different things than the general population.
Right.
Same. You brought it up earlier. Pop music, most of it sucks.
Yeah.
But anyway, that made me think about something else. Let's left turn right now.
I kind of don't want to leave this quite yet though, because I had a thought.
Oh, go. Thought.
No, I was just going to say, I think that's
because I'm going to change direction completely.
No, that's why I want to stop just before we get off this. Yeah. I do think that's something that makes us different is that I like to think that I'm self-aware enough to know that what I'm watching is not good, but it's just, I just need to, or it's not high art, but it's going to get me to the point where it's going to be 9:00 and I'm going to go to bed. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I don't want anything else. And I don't think you'll go down that hole.
I won't. No.
Yeah.
But my wife hates it, man, because I'll just walk out. I'll just like she'll be watching because she'll do the same thing you like. She'll watch through it.
Right.
I mean, shit. Gilmore Girls or no, hang on. Let me just say Gilmore Girls. And I got a lot of good things to say about Gilmore Girls. I do. That show, the production was amazing on that show. They nailed that whole like sing-song dialogue thing that got really popular as well in the hospital one. What's the one with the nurses?
You mean the Grey's Anatomy?
Grey's Anatomy. That same that cadence of the dialogue is perfected in Gilmore Girls. I mean, it is perfected. And it's cheesy. It's cheesy on purpose, you know? Sure. It's like dreamy, cheesy stuff. But my wife has watched every episode numerous times. So she has the ability to put that on and use it as background noise and then work. And I can't do that. I need to pay attention to it or shut it off.
Right.
And then so if I'm watching it and it's bad, I'll just leave, and that annoys the shit out of her. I know it does,
right?
Because I just don't. I got something else to do, man. I can't. It's like it's something that when it gets inside of me and it eats me up, and I just like, no, I can't do it.
My wife watches a lot of shows that are like she's like right now her thing is Vanderpump Rules, and I won't watch that.
I don't even know what that is.
I think it's and I don't really know the details of it, but I think it's like you had one of those Real Housewives of whatever, and then one of the characters on that
like a spin-off.
Yeah, and I'm just like, there's no way. But and I think it's funny that you're like, I refuse to watch any of that stuff. But Gilmore Girls, I'm thinking, okay. But
no, I don't watch Gilmore Girls. It's on because my wife will watch it and work on her laptop and stuff. And of course, I'm in the house, so I see it. But
sure.
I will say that, that's. I mean, I watch it and I look at it and go like, man, that's tight. It's tight. Their production is good, man. Those people are professionals that made that. It's not like cheesy hacked together.
Interesting, but I think I'm usually aware of that what I'm watching. But to be clear, I mean I'm selective.
Yeah, understood.
But
I mean, if you make an ill-chosen watch, you just go to watch something and it's like
I won't finish it.
It's not terrible, but it's not good. It's just like kind of you'll finish it, and
sure.
I absolutely won't. I'm like
next. I mean, as an example, I like we talked about before, and I think both you and I like watch like the British Bake Off, which is.
Did you watch the kid one, by the way?
I started it.
Yeah. Did you not like it?
I didn't get into it enough to really form it. Okay. I don't know what happened, but I think I got like 5 minutes into it. Yeah. Okay. And I hate kid cooking shows.
I know you do. That's why I asked, and I recommended it to you. The thing that struck me was that I don't know. I have a difficult time believing that these kids are really cooking these things that they're cooking.
That's why I hate kid cooking shows, and also the fact
that they're really cooking them. I mean, you can watch them do it.
I guess.
And it's like, and they have flops and stuff, just like the regular baking show. But I mean, they know stuff that I don't think a 9-year-old should know.
That's kind of what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Like, so you think they're coached and stuff. Whatever.
Maybe. Yeah. I think so. Well, I don't know about that one, but I know some Master Chef Junior or whatever. I mean, kid's not going to drop like a beef Wellington. They're just not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. You ready for my left turn?
Yeah. Left turn.
Okay.
Please.
I was thinking about this today because I'll go first if you want me to, but I'd rather you go first.
Okay.
I want you to admit to owning and liking an album or a record or CD or whatever that most people, if you told them that, you go like, what? You listen to that?
I'm willing to admit it. I just have to think about what it is.
You got to find it in your memory.
Yeah.
So it's one of those like, oh man, I don't think if anybody knew that I listened to this, it would be so far of a departure from my normal. It ain't Boston, and it ain't, you know what I mean, Bon Jovi or whatever.
It's okay. Well, on that note, I see an album I've recently kind of fallen back on, and it's funny because I was singing along with it, and like my wife was like, "How do you know all these songs?
Yeah,
like the lyrics, all these songs."
What is it?
It was REO Speedwagon High Infidelity.
Okay, but
that's a great album.
Yeah, that doesn't qualify.
No, but
uncharacteristic. Let's call it that. Uncharacteristic.
I think for individual songs, like there's I remember the Meredith Brooks song from like the 90s. I'm a bitch. I don't know that one. Yeah, it's a. I think it's Meredith Brooks was the name of the artist, but I'm trying to think of other.
Okay, here's mine.
Oh yeah,
just to put you in the vein.
Yeah.
George Michael, Faith.
Okay, that's crazy. Yeah.
I know every word to every song.
Right.
I don't know why. I don't like anything else from Joy. I did like Careless Whisper. I thought that was good, but I don't know why. Somehow that album just hit me at the right time in my life, and it was so musical, and it was so, I don't know, it was just good. And
well,
I listened to it today. That's what made me think of it.
It's interesting because how much people start to love and respect an artist after he dies.
Oh yeah, that's wonderful.
So yeah, but yeah,
he was pretty damn popular and famous when he was alive.
Yeah,
I mean, he did go to cult status afterwards.
He did. Yeah, he was. But I mean, yeah, he was kind of an '80s icon.
Yeah, he was for sure.
And I'm trying to think about, I don't know, because now I don't live in a world. My world isn't albums anymore, know. And I'm trying to think back to the '80s when I'd buy albums
or whatever, like when what music you listen to that you would be like, nobody would ever really expect me to listen to this.
Daft Punk, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I've listened to some Daft Punk. I thought the Daft Punk Tron soundtrack was pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. It was actually the Tron, whatever that remake, not the remake, but the Tron sequel. Yeah, it was really. I thought that was pretty good. There's a song on there that I think it's the closing credits song that honest to gosh, if it's cranked up loud enough, it'll almost bring a tear to my eyes because it's so beautiful. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the next question.
Yeah.
What song can get you to tear up?
That's easy.
Don't tell me Candle in the Wind.
Well, no. Poncho and Lefty by Willie Nelson and Merle Haggard.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's if I'm in the right place, it will. And what gets me about it is if you listen to the lyrics, the whole point of the song. There's song there. Willie Nelson's got a voice anyway, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
And he talks about how he died on the desert and nobody heard his dying words.
Ah.
And I always thought that was a very powerful line.
Okay.
And then I guess his sidekick, went off and died.
Yeah, I'm not familiar enough with the tune.
Yeah,
so I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, it's a sad song, And the point is that he's a bandit, and he's kind of
dies a lonely death.
Yeah, dies a lonely death.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, geez, man. I don't know. I'll get emotional over songs mostly because of the philosophy, rather than here's another one. Okay, this is an admission. Joshua Caddison.
I don't know who that is.
You don't know who that is? Oh. This was like you remember Bridges of Madison County?
Oh, you've talked about this before. That book, you love that damn book, man.
The book was great. The movie, but.
If you say so.
Sorry, Clint. Sorry, Clint. But anyway, yeah. So the album is essentially that in music. I mean, it's super sappy, heartfelt, emotional stuff. And like you said, if the mood is right, then that one will get me. Yeah. Or this is one that I think is it's the ASPCA's theme song.
The Sarah McLachlan?
Yeah. But you got to listen to that song. Do you know what that song's about? That song's about a woman committing suicide alone in a hotel room.
Oh, my gosh, man.
And people use that at their wedding.
Yeah.
In the arms of angels. Oh, this is so beautiful.
Well, for one, I've never heard it all the way through because even though we don't live in a world right now where I have commercials, but I remember back when Melanie and I were in Seattle.
Right.
And the Sarah McLachlan song would come on. Yeah, it'd be like, fuck that. It'd be like, nope.
I'm not letting it in. It's going to get me.
Yeah.
But so if you listen to that song, it's about a woman that's alone in a hotel. I'm assuming it's, a life on the road is hard or whatever. But, yeah, and she's looking for any kind of comfort or release, and she cuts her wrists in the warm bathtub, and maybe she'll find some release, or she'll find some relief in the arms of the angels.
Wow.
Listen to it, dude. It's awesome. That shit will tear you up. Yeah,
dude,
it will tear you up.
You like to introduce me to stuff that just basically makes me... Like I'm gonna be sitting around my wife and she's gonna be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Nothing."
I listen to Sarah McLachlan.
Hanging out with Doug and just we watch movies. And people get tortured. And maybe listen to Sarah McLachlan. Anyway. Yeah. Well, whatever happened to Sarah McLachlan anyway?
I'm not sure.
Oh man, she was great. Well, there was a period, and this is definitely a hodgepodge. There's this kind of. When it comes to music in my life, we may have talked about this when we talked about music in the past, but I go through periods where I'm very engaged with whatever's out there, and then I just live in classic rock, you know, and then I'll get engaged. And there was a time in the late 90s where, you know, I was, you know, listening to like Alanis Morissette and the Cranberries and a lot what's her name, the woman that dated Lance Armstrong.
I don't know.
She does like the song Steve McQueen, and did the soundtrack to Cars. It'll come to me in a minute. But anyway.
Tip of my tongue.
Me too.
Tuesday Night Music Club.
Yes. But yeah, and Sarah McLachlan was in there, you know, and they weren't all female, but like.
Hey, did you ever listen to Edie Brickell?
Yes.
You know, she was with the New Bohemians, right?
Yes.
That was like a little group.
Yeah, that was the name of the band, right?
Yeah, well, but she made an album after that. Okay, here I go with this sad shit again. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about this song. It's called, the album is called Picture Perfect Morning, and I don't really know the name. I can't remember the name of the song, but it's the last song on the album, and it's a song about a guy who is a convenience store or small shop owner,
right? And
he gets killed. And this what I find so interesting about the story, she wrote the song from 3 different perspectives. One was from the robber, one was from the clerk, and one was from the clerk's wife, who was sitting at home.
Or multiple songs? In
one song.
Wow.
And the other perspective was the clerk's wife, who was sitting at home waiting for him to come home. And it's a super cool, interesting song. But she's married to Paul Simon, so I got to think that he had some input on that, because that's a sophisticated, you know,
Sheryl Crow.
Kind of Sheryl Crow. That's the chick's name. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like her a lot. But Edie Brickell, Picture Perfect Morning. Check it out.
I will. Everybody else.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So what was on? I don't know. Your lava lamp distracted me. We're sitting here in a room with a lava lamp.
That's the only light we have.
Oh. Hey, turn on the Barry White.
You were asking about, was there any music I listened to that I maybe care, not that people might think, what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, during that time frame, like Garbage, listen to them, but they were good.
Yeah. I don't think I ever listened to them.
Yeah.
When I was just in the Coast Guard. Gosh, I was 18.
What?
I was just in the Coast Guard.
Oh, gotcha.
Like 18 years old.
Uh-huh.
And I was, I fell in love with Hooked on Classics.
Oh my God. That is wow. You said buried the lead. That's a, yeah.
Yeah. Hooked on Classics.
Well, I will say when I was a kid, I had like some, you know, like the disco version of like, Beethoven's Fifth. But go ahead. Yeah. So Hooked on Classics.
No, I just remember, I was even cool enough to cruise around in my 77 Monte Carlo and jam out Hooked on Classics down Duval Street.
Duval Street would be Key West for anybody wondering.
Oh, yeah.
But
anyway, yeah. So, yeah, my musical taste has changed a lot. And I do the same thing as you. Like, I'll get fixated on some stuff. Mm-hmm. But I've learned over the years to have self-control because I get burned out. Like, I can barely listen to Zeppelin anymore. I listen to so much Led Zeppelin. Like, man, I would literally, Zeppelin 4, without exaggerating, I would listen to that over and over, back to back at back, 4 or 5 times in a row.
You know what the weird thing about Zeppelin and me, though? I've always been Zeppelin adjacent. Like, I've just never owned a Zeppelin album.
Okay.
I like Zeppelin. I mean, they're not as good as the Police.
Yeah,
but,
of course, yeah.
But no, I've always been like Zeppelin, but I've never been like a huge Zeppelin fan.
Really?
Yeah.
I wasn't until I got in the Coast Guard and we were stationed in Key West my very first time, 1983. And my roommate was a big Zeppelin fan.
Sure.
And he, I don't know, I'm going to throw his name out there.
Good.
His name was Mark Gazvoda.
That's a cool name. That's kind of a cool name.
I know. And he was my buddy, man. We got along great.
What happened to Mark?
I don't know. We got transferred and went our separate ways. Never heard from him again.
The story of the military.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, he had a lot of Zeppelin records. And then I forgot what that I think it was called Cartoons, was like a little place in Key West where you could buy music. And so I went down there and started buying Zeppelin albums with every paycheck I got, and I still have all those records. Yeah,
when you and I hung out in Key West too, just think about it, music, we both got big into like STP and And it was grunge. Grunge was the thing.
It was happening. Yeah, 95-ish, right? Something like that. Yeah, 93,
exactly.
94.
93, yeah.
93, yeah. I don't remember.
It's funny to think about you and me in Key West, man. Suddenly, like, I get just this onslaught of, like, funny shit that happened to us when we were in Key West, man. That was
we need a podcast on that. That's for sure.
Well,
good Lord.
We need to have, like, the adult podcast and talk about some of the things that have... And nothing... Like most of it was things that like happened again. They were close to us. You
and I were not at the center of any of this stuff.
No,
we were in the peripherals.
Well, okay, well just okay.
Oh, shit, here he goes.
A little peek
You can't
into
stop
that.
him. You can't stop him.
A little peek into that was that Doug and I,
Don't say their names.
No. But one of our collateral assignments we were the drug and alcohol reps.
Yes.
So
if you got in trouble, like you went out in town and you got drunk and you got arrested or got in some kind of trouble, you had to come and see one of us. And what we would do is we would talk to you and figure out what happened. And then the command would deal with the disciplinary side of it. But Tony being in the healthcare side, kind of, I don't know, somehow he roped me into this.
I did rope you into it.
But what we would do is we would kind of make a determination as to if you needed to go see a professional or not to see if you had any kind of a real problem.
We always referred them to a doctor.
Yeah.
And the doctor would decide whether or not it was like whoops, or if they were abusive.
Yes.
Or if they had an addiction.
Actual addiction. Yeah. But so we were kind of the liaison between the person and the clinic and the command.
And the care. Whatever care they got. If they needed care, we would arrange their care. And it was just always like and this was Key West. So we were busy. We were busy. Yeah.
Wild times.
And some of the there was a guy that came in one time, and I won't name names, obviously, but he had his nose cut off.
Yeah. I remember that.
And it was held on it wasn't completely cut off, but it could, a little bit of pressure and that thing was coming off,
right off.
And he had taped it on with Scotch tape.
Yeah. Got some blood proof of Scotch tape.
Dude,
you know that?
It wasn't.
Yeah. Oh, shit. And then the worst that always made, it was one thing if somebody came in and they had some issue like that. But to me, like I didn't really have much sympathy. But the ones that I really did feel bad for, when the ones that were really trying to recover and then they would relapse and have some terrible shit happen to them, like, oh my God, this just breaks my heart, man.
Yeah.
It really does, yeah.
There
was a couple that you kind of get attached to because these people open up to you, like on a really real human level sometimes.
I will tell you, and there was one that I carry a lot of guilt about. Like she did reach out to me needing help, and I was like, something had happened where I was like pissed at her.
Oh yeah.
And I should have just been a bigger man, but I was young and stupid.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit you don't know. But I will tell you this, man, that experience of being a CDAR, going to CDAR class in was it Virginia? I think? Yeah,
Norfolk.
I am not exaggerating in any way. That changed my life. It literally changed my life. I had an experience at one of the commencements that it changed my view of human beings and put me on the path I think that I'm on today, because I still remember it so vividly, and most of that shit I don't remember at all. But there was I want to say he was a lieutenant. It might have been a lieutenant commander, and he was going through commencement. And commencement was basically graduation from an inpatient program. How long was that anyway? Like 6 weeks? 6 weeks, yeah.
6 weeks, 8 weeks.
It was intensive stuff, and there's people with detox, and they would have to go through therapy and all this stuff.
12-step, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, the whole thing, yeah. But when you come out, they called it commencement, right? So, and part of our class was we had to sit through a commencement. You had to go to AA meetings, you had to go to Al-Anon meetings, and all, just so you can experience. Yep. So anyway, I'm sitting in this commencement, and a couple of people come up, and it's kind of like a little mini graduation. They give speeches. Hey, thanks to you guys for all my help. My life's on track. That kind of thing. Right. And this guy gets up there in his Navy uniform, and he was a pilot. He was a fighter pilot. He was like a lieutenant commander, and he started to thank the people around him that helped him, and all of that was kind of normal. And then he started to thank the Navy for giving him a second chance and not giving him the boot because of whatever trouble. I don't even know what trouble he got into. Right. But this guy broke down. Like, he legitimately broke down. And I remember having this weird, vision of him in my mind that here stands before me the most honest, raw human being that I've ever seen in my life, ever. All the barriers were down, and this guy was and he was snot running down his nose, and people were trying to help him, and he was pushing him off. He wanted to get through this thing on his own, and he gave this speech saying, thank you to the Navy for allowing me the second chance and giving me, hope for my future and my family's future and all this other stuff. And I'm not exaggerating, from that point forward, I could clearly see the masks that people wear on a regular basis, me included, everybody. Sure. And then I just that's the standard. If you want to be honest with me, that's the standard. No kidding. Yeah. And it's so I've held honesty as a stalwart of life from that point forward in a way that I had never done before. Don't bullshit me. Yeah. But from that point forth, it's nope. Now I know what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that really did, man. It really, really affected me in a positive way. So,
yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. It was, and we have lots of crazy stories about people that did dumb shit. And,
there may be
driving scooters into stop signs and getting knifed in the back and calling us at 3 a.m. and whatever.
Yeah, we'll have to. Well, the funny ones are because there's some that are kind of funny.
But
and I think that's a great story. It actually makes me think about it's not about being dishonest or putting on masks, but I need to find this. You'd like this. There's this interesting theory or philosophy about how we lie to each other. How people lie to each other, not intentionally, not like pathologic lying about it, but how and I need to find it. Maybe I should not talk about it because talking about it now, I'm doing exactly what the theory is about.
Yeah. Okay.
But what it comes down to is that people will feign knowledge of something. They might have a very basic knowledge about the way a light bulb works as an example or something like that. And I'll say, well, yeah, there's glass, and inside there's fairy hair. There's a hair from the mane of a unicorn. Mm-hmm. And if I say it and I'll say something to you that, right? And you don't want to look like an idiot, so you'll say oh yeah, hair, unicorn hair, and so I will bullshit, and you will become part of my bullshit, right? And both of us will sit here and kind of bullshit each other, but with kind of this belief that I know what I'm talking about, and you think I know what I'm talking about, and I think you know. So in other words, there's this kind of
the bubble grows.
Yeah, but there's kind of this bullshit, this circular bullshit thing going on, where neither individual kind of realizes they're bullshitting or are willing to admit they are bullshitting, and they're bullshit. And I need to look it up, but it's interesting because once you kind of about it, and you watch people talking, you're just kind of and what it really comes down to is when somebody asks me, do you know what I'm talking about? There is this kind of urge to say, even though I don't. You know what I mean? So I really try to be, do you know what I'm talking about?
So I think you're one of the people that I know. It's probably why you and I get along so well. So you're one of the people that I know in my life that's willing to go, I have no clue what the hell you're talking about.
I have no clue. Yeah.
And I do the same thing. I will be 100% honest with you.
I have no idea. Nope. Well, and that's where a lot of that comes from is the fact that there isn't, well, for one, also saying, moves it along too. You know what I mean?
Well, so let's be clear. Sometimes we definitely will do that.
Right.
Because I don't give a shit enough about the conversation. It's great. Yeah.
It's funny because I know this guy will, and we need to wrap this up. We've been talking for, oh my God, I'm just at the time.
Edit.
So there was there's going to be no recommendations after this podcast. We need to close this thing down.
I recommend you turn this podcast off.
There was this freaking dude. There was this cat here the other day. We decided to do something with our gutters, and we did. We got gutter shields because I don't want to clean my gutters.
Right.
And the guy that came to measure the house or anything like that, I just wanted to measure the house and give me a damn estimate, right?
Right.
But this guy lived gutter protectors, right?
Wow.
And so he's in here and he's like telling me about how they're going to work, and I'm like, I don't care,
right?
And of course Melanie, my wife, God love her, she definitely,
she's the most agreeable person I've ever
she loves
met,
it. She wants people to be happy, but sometimes I've got this like look, I'm just like, no, don't please,
don't get her started.
Please don't ask this guy any questions.
Yeah.
But I was the guy that like said, I forget what I asked him, but it was something along the lines of like, I just wanted him to feel at home, right? And I said something like, so is this stuff you put here, is this like silicone based? And that asshole, like I swear to God,
to go off on a 5-hour tangent.
Dude, I was like, he talked about like where that stuff was made and what was in it, and it was all very much like, well, let me tell you, and I was like, so, and I'm not going to engage, but it went on for a while, and then when he got done, I was like, yeah, we're not talking anymore until I sign that thing. You're out of here.
I will say, in my current job right now, I get a lot of people trying to get me to advertise with them, and I've gotten really good about being able to close that conversation. When that starts, I've gotten pretty good at it without being rude.
Right, and I tell you, working in the medical field, that's something you learn.
Have to do.
You learn how to okay,
shut it down.
We need to direct this conversation because people, not everybody, but there's definitely. I remember the first time somebody came in and I was in a room for 45 minutes and I was just like, what the hell just happened?
Okay, there went my schedule.
Yeah. So but is that all you feel though at your current job? Like, do you feel a lot of that where people are just trying to, and they're very passionate, right?
No.
Oh, really? Okay.
No. I did mostly just salespeople, knocking on the next door kind of stuff. That stuff still does exist, but, and no, I can suss out pretty quick because I talk to so many of them. A lot of them either asking for donations or they're asking for money for advertising. Hey, place an ad in my newspaper or whatever. So I've gotten pretty good about going like, nope, sorry.
Yeah.
Got all we need. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good.
So anyway. All right. Well,
I did not think we were going to go that long.
How long did that go so far?
60 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's
not bad, but still. Yeah. But
we're just warming up.
Do you want to recommend or do you want to just move on? Do you have a recommendation? I have one, but I can wait till the next podcast.
Yeah, let's wait because you caught me off guard. Yeah.
Got it.
No idea.
All right. Well, if you got all the way through this one, good for you.
Congratulations.
That is impressive.
Rambling.
I won't know how it sounds until I go back and listen to it. And then there's been a few that I've listened to, and I've been like, whoa.
Surprise you?
Yeah. Honestly, the bad guy one was great.
Was it good? Yeah.
It was good. Yeah. And I think, but this one, I don't know. I think
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
We rambled a little. Sorry.
Either way, it'll definitely fill a spot on our podcast.
Yeah, well, we'll do this again, but maybe with a little bit more structure next time.
Yeah.
Quasi Hodgepodge.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, everybody, again, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great night or a great day, whenever you listen to this. This has been an Analog Spectrum production and presentation. Doug and I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to spend some time with us. Knowing that you gave us a listen and supported our show really means a lot to us. I posted our podcast website in the description. If you get a chance, maybe head on over there and see if you'd like to download one of our previous programs. We talk about all sorts of stuff. There might be something we posted in the past that you'll find interesting. And while you're there, please consider subscribing. That way you'll get notification of our future casts. Or if you prefer, you can search us out on just about any podcast platform there is. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, and there's a few more. If you have a podcast app, we're probably on there. I almost forgot, we're on YouTube now. That link is also in the description. We haven't gotten around to producing videos yet, but all of our recordings are on there. It would be super awesome if you'd consider following us on there too. Finally, for any cast you have enjoyed, please leave us a review and a comment. 5 stars if you don't mind. Once you're done singing our praises, please share our show with your friends and family. With your help, we'll keep growing our Analog Spectrum community. That's all I have for now. Please feel free to contact us at analogspectrum@gmail.com if you have any questions or if you just want to say hello. As always, thanks for joining us on this ride, and we look forward to hanging out with you again sometime very soon.